Thanks for joining us today for What Pros Wear's second podcast. With us is Luke Ackert, What Pros Wear creative director and former Australian national team player, as well as current national team player for the Australians and WBC hopeful, Todd Van Steensel. Todd's an Adidas athlete, and we want to talk to him about that, but of course we've got to start off with the important stuff, how to speak English.
I keep freaking out that I'm losing the accent.
I always think that when people tell me that when I get home, they're like, "Hey, you doing?"
Dude, I ordered a sandwich the other day, and I was like I've started saying tomato, and I'm just like, oh no, it's happening.
What's the proper pronunciation for
Well,
that?
we say tomato, you say tomato. To quote a famous song.
I saw a video online of I sourced it from your Wikipedia page, which was pretty interesting. and somebody must have had fun with it, and it's hilarious.
Well, it does?
So it's something like Todd decided he spoke with his mother, and she said that he should go home or something. But it ended up there was a pretty bad brawl. It looked like you guys were in. That was some serious stuff. That was in
the Brisbane one?
Yeah, man. Where was that?
That was at our place in Sydney.
Oh, I saw that. It
that got ESPN in America.
Yeah.
Best bad.
Who was that against?
The Bandits, Brisbane.
Yeah. I did see the highlights of that.
That guy came out of nowhere, man. Did he get put in jail? What kind of jail do you guys got? I mean, that he deserved to seriously, take a timeout.
Yeah.
That was straight up assault.
Yeah,
it was.
That was a bad one.
So do you guys often get in brawls down in Australia? Is that a common thing?
No, I mean, I only remember, I've had two brawls. One was when I was a junior and played against Cuba in like a World Cup years ago, and then once was like just
Cuba.
Just
oh my God, what was that like?
It was crazy.
What happened?
Was
it a pimp job?
It wasn't actually even in the game, right? So it was like directly after. I guess that's still in the game, but it was. I don't even know how it started. It just escalated really quickly, and it was crazy. And then
that's a melee. I mean, if you could bring two worlds together like that can get pretty nuts. Like MLB players, those guys run out, and like 14 of them on each team are like best buds and go to together. They're not gonna swing.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most likely, but if you're from two different worlds,
and very different places,
different places, very different.
Even like language barrier, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
we are talking to Luke Ackert,
and
Todd Van Steensel, two Australian baseball players with accolades, two national players.
Yeah.
National players.
And you're talking to two American players with no accolades.
No accolades. Zero accolades.
Not a single accolade.
So, I guess I wanted to have you guys on today because I thought you were. This is our number 2, our second podcast. We're just throwing it out there. I think people like it. They like to talk baseball, and so do we. I thought you guys would be interesting. Number 1, most of all, because your accents, and number 2, because I'd love to hear just what it's like. What's it like playing Australian baseball? Are you guys getting put in the lockers? Are they giving you a wedgie and putting you in the locker because you don't play rugby or cricket? Like, how's that work growing up?
And 3, how did you dodge death for your entire life in Australia?
Yeah, okay, so a lot of ignorance going on here, right? So we're going to solve some problems real quick.
I'm sorry.
I think playing baseball in Australia is actually pretty amazing. The community is, I mean, there's not a lot of us. I mean, even just population-wise, there's not a lot, but the talent there is crazy. Especially like per player, if you want to say it like that. So the standard of baseball that we played, and Todd, you can jump in as well. I mean, we've played together for a long time, but it's amazing. You have big league guys or ex-big league guys coming back and playing rec ball and stuff like that. So, I mean, you kind of filter that up into the ABL, and obviously it's the off season. You've got a ton of prospects, a lot of young talent and stuff like that. So, I mean, the level is there. It's just kind of building the sport back up. I mean, we had a couple of rough years there where, Dave Nelson used to own the league. Before he bought it, the first version of the ABL was doing really well. I mean, the crowds were huge, like 5,000 people every single game. It was on TV, like a lot. And it had some really great momentum, but then it kind of went through a little bit of a dark period. So, it's kind of been a little bit of rebuilding over the last couple of years, but I think it'll get there. But Todd's had a couple of years there right now, Todd, so maybe you can speak to that a little better.
Yeah, so speaking on the new ABL, I think that ABL we have now really exposes the young Australians we have to a market that wouldn't be seen anywhere else. Like just last week, an 18-year-old signed with the Diamondbacks after playing for Adelaide. So, it's the exposure it gives to the young talent we have nowadays. Just really helps us out with the ABL.
You see a lot of scouting from the MLB.
I mean, a lot of our the national team coaches and a lot of the coaching staff are actually scouts for big league clubs as well. Like if you look at John Deeble, who's the head coach of the Australian team, he's very high up in the Red Sox.
He's with the Dodgers now. I think even higher up.
With who?
I think Deeble's with the Dodgers now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, and he's gone even higher up, I think.
Go Dodgers.
Yeah.
Our pitching coach is like the head of. I mean, I may be a little behind on this as well. Todd not living there anymore, but like Phil Dale, the Australian pitching coach, who's like the head of Pacific Scouting for the Braves. Our on-field, our Tony Harris, who's the on-field guy. Is he a Dodger scout as well?
Last time I remember, he was with the Pirates.
Yeah. So you have these guys who are like invested in the baseball community down there, who also have a say in who moves on and stuff like that. So yeah, to answer your question, they're around and they're involved, with these players.
Yeah. How about you, Todd? What's been your experience growing up playing Australian baseball?
I mean, I had no idea what baseball was until I was about 8 years old, and I went to my brother's practice one day because he got conned into going by a friend. And I saw the uniforms. I was like, I want to play baseball now.
That's awesome.
I had no idea what the ABL was growing up. So, like, the first edition of it. And then I had no idea there were more baseball teams than the Yankees until I flew to America in, 2005.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I was really, really wasn't exposed to much baseball until I started to, realize I could make a career out of this.
Yeah.
And you were with the Twins. Are you still with the Twins? What's the American situation right now for you? Where are you playing ball?
I'm heading back to spring training in March with the Twins, and it'll be my 6th spring training, I think, even though I signed back in 2008 as a 17-year-old.
Wow.
So it's been a very long ride, and I just got to AA last year, but I've loved every minute of it, so I can't complain.
How's that elbow?
The left elbow, it's hanging in there.
Your motion would not be good for me as a hitter. It would not be a good thing.
Well, when I found out there were more teams than Yankees, I found out who Dontrell Willis was.
Man, I love Dontrell Willis. He was one of my favorite players.
I decided to start pitching like him one day, and that's where my action came from.
And do you think you're getting like a late break because of that, or you just becomes like comfort? You find balance.
Like I've found ways to make that work for me, so I'm really comfortable with it. I also think it adds a bit of deception.
It does.
Because, some people have like a full body turn and their arms going up in the air and a high leg kick.
How's the WBC looking, Todd? Is that...
The team officially gets announced in a few days, so just fingers crossed, I'm on that list.
Yeah, you don't know anything yet?
Not too sure yet.
Okay, and this will be your first WBC, right?
Yeah, my first one. I played in the qualifier in February last year, so this will be my first, first real one, the big dance.
Yeah, the big dance. Oh, well, good luck with that, man. I hope that works out for you.
That's exciting. It should be a big deal. I think it is becoming one. I think just basically it's becoming normalized, and we are looking forward to it now rather than not knowing what the heck it is. Man, I really want the U.S. to win. I keep
hearing rumors that this is maybe the last one.
The last one?
Yeah. I guess they say that...
I hope not.
I hope it's not true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I hope not.
I think the popularity around here isn't what they expected it to be in the States here.
Yeah.
I think the USA needs to be successful for it to really thrive.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Todd, actually. I think that'll make a big difference,
Yeah.
For all other countries, it's such a huge thing, but, when you don't have... it's a bit of a trip, right? Because, you don't have Kershaw, you don't have Scherzer, well, you might get one of them, but you're not going to
have Harper or Trout either.
Right.
Yeah, neither of those guys.
Yeah. So it's tricky, right? But then I get it because these guys are on like these huge contracts. So how do you balance that between allowing these guys to play and not getting injured and logging extra innings on their arm, but at the same time like making this the best event that it can be?
Yeah, and it comes down to the MLB owners, have to support it as well because if they don't want their players to go. But regardless of that, let's not talk about the politics too much. Hopefully it'll be, it's going to be an exciting thing for us at the very least. I know I'm pumped about it. So, Todd, now since you're not sure about the what the roster is going to look like, I'd love to know, what your outlook would be for, like, what is the Australian camp thinking? What are they going in, and what's their mentality? Like, do you feel like a David and Goliath, or do you feel like you guys are at the point you can compete?
I feel like it all comes down to our mentality. Like, we have to believe that we belong there alongside these teams. And, like, we're playing Japan, we're playing Cuba, two of the best teams in the world for the last, 15, 20 years. And we have beaten them before. We just got to believe we can do it again. It's baseball. Their best player could have a bad day, and we can take complete advantage of that.
Yeah.
We just comes to us believing we can do it. We have to play perfect baseball, and you play perfect against Japan. You don't give them 30 outs. You give them 27 outs. You're always going to give yourself a good chance to win. It's when you make the errors that teams like Cuba and Japan can make you pay.
And Japan is going to make you make plays. That's for sure, because that team doesn't make mistakes.
Exactly. They're very fundamentally sound. Every Japanese team I've ever played against, they can lay down a bunt. They'll turn the double play. They'll move the runners over. They do the small things right, and that's why they've won 2 World Baseball Classics.
Yeah. And we don't remember I don't remember the winners as much as I think it's probably because the U.S. hasn't won. Maybe that's why I kind of try to block it out of my memory. But that's just an amazing
typical American. That's the American attitude right there.
I'm gonna have no comment on that, but
it's
Jake,
true.
You covered it for me.
It's true. It's true. So maybe both of you guys can speak to this. Who is like the best? Who's the guy who got up and you were really kind of worried? I mean, has there ever been a guy, Todd? Have you gotten up in qualifiers and pitched against somebody that you've seen on highlights or anything like that?
At the qualifiers, we didn't have any really big names, but last year I pitched against Yoenis Cespedes in High A.
Oh my gosh, how'd that go?
And the thought in my head was like, this guy's gonna line a ball right off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's what I'd be thinking.
And then you're coming down like Dontrell Willis as well, so a lot of moving parts.
I know. Well, luckily he popped up, so he was being nice to me that day. But I don't want to be if I didn't fear for my safety, because I've seen what he's done to a baseball before, and I just didn't want him to do it to me.
Yeah, it's amazing. So he was down rehabbing, obviously.
Yeah, he had for a couple of games in High A with St. Lucie when I was playing with Fort Myers.
What'd you throw him?
I didn't throw a strike at all, but he was swinging. He was ready to hit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Everything was out of the zone. I was throwing sliders that went 58 feet, fastballs up in the zone, but somehow he just got out.
As from the universe, it had nothing to do with you. The way you make it sound, it's like somehow he got out. Some celestial miracle happened and he got out. That's amazing. Who else? Anybody else?
I faced Grady Sizemore before and struck him out, so that was pretty happy for me.
Grady Sizemore?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Todd, would you say he's the most handsome guy you've ever struck out? He's pretty handsome.
If I ever got to face Akron, I'd say he's the most
that was going to be my joke.
You
beat me to it.
Todd, what's your innings looking like this year? It seems like you went from minors, Australian ball, now to the WBC.
So I probably logged between the WBC and spring training and the season about close to 80 innings, which is what I usually do every year. Once I come home minor league season, I like to give myself a little break. And then halfway through the ABL, I'll join the Blue Sox and get some innings in before spring training.
Got it.
But usually no more than 10 innings or so, just to get the arm loose and try and give me a head start on the other guys who are playing catch in the snow.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting thought though, right? Like using the ABL to your advantage and getting in and getting reps, I guess, right? So it's an advantage that we have as Australians going over there.
Yeah, I get to face quality competition every week, AA, AAA guys that Korean minor leaguers and even a couple of big leaguers as well. So you're facing good hitters every week, and that can only help you heading into spring training.
You're with Adidas. You get treated nicely by them. It seems like. So what's the new this year? What are you gonna be rocking?
As you guys are saying, they hooked me up with a couple of sweet pairs of Boost Icons for this year.
Boost Icons. The Boost Icon 2 or the Boost Icon original?
The twos.
Those are really nice. Nice. That's their best. That's their best cleat.
It's definitely the best that I've worn the last few years.
You always been an Adidas guy, Todd?
No, I used to be a big Nike guy. Everything I wore was Nike. Growing up in Australia, it's hard to find Nike baseball cleats.
Yeah.
Because I Nike so much back then, I just started wearing Nike soccer cleats to pitch in. And then, funnily enough, 2 years ago, a guy that played for the Blue Sox got a job with Adidas, and he sends me a message one day saying, "Hey man, I got a job with Adidas. How about I send you a pair of cleats? Tell me what you think about them, and see what happens." And I was pitching badly at the time. So I was like, maybe it's time for a change.
Yeah, superstition.
But I said, I'll give the Adidas cleats a go, and I really enjoyed them. And I wouldn't wear them if I still didn't like them. So I guess you could say I'm a big Adidas guy now. Or Adidas.
Yeah, Adidas. Yeah.
So basically, Adidas saved your career, is what I got from that.
They gave me a fresh start when I needed it. I really like the direction Adidas are going with their cleats. They're doing things that other people aren't doing. They're trying to create this cleat head movement about fusing off-field culture onto the on-field, and I think it's really exciting to see the stuff they've done the last few years.
Definitely. And these heavy hitters like Adidas, who basically, even Nike and most brands really have looked at baseball as a secondary, just a thing that you do because, we make shoes, so we might as well make baseball cleats. Now, like you said, Todd, it's we're trying to actually make the baseball cleat kind of lift it up and make it primary, make it important to people, and then take that off the field. So it's not just, you can't wear a baseball cleat in the mall, but you can have a baseball mentality off the field as well.
Yeah, to everyone's point, too. I mean, the love for the game and the love for the swag and everything's there. It seems like, unfortunately, it's the league that's stifling a little bit. It's the MLB. It's not these brands have done a great job, especially Adidas these last couple of years.
You can observe, the formula that they've applied to basketball and football as well, using that knowledge and that, again, formula and applying that to baseball. It's really starting to come to life, and I think Adidas is the prime example of that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they're trying new things and putting new things on cleats that I haven't really seen before. Their celebration pack, I got really up close to a few pairs, and the details and the finer points in it are just unreal.
Yeah,
it was, and everybody, it was noted by people in the industry too. Oh wow, baseball, Adidas, whoa. Can't believe that the execution was so sharp, but it's because they're putting their best guys on them now, and so that's exciting for us.
Yeah, big year for them, I think. This year, to me, at least, they jumped off the page. They got Correa, they got Bryant. They've been doing great things.
Yeah, they got Bryant as well.
That's been their.
That's your guy.
That's been their guy. Though they bet the house on him. This whole year, they bet the house on the Cubs winning the World Series, which was bold. Just in general, from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah.
And they ran the table.
Yeah.
It paid off. It paid off big time. And that guy is, clearly he is going to be one of the best players in the league for the next decade.
It look so easy. When he hits those bombs, and it's just
that one in the World Series. I can't remember who. It might have been off of Tomlin.
Yeah. Even when he's struggling, he doesn't look that bad. If you know what I mean. He's striking out.
He strikes out a lot.
Or he's slumping, and it's he doesn't look like he's slumping.
No, he always looks like he's
about to
got
break
it figured
out
out.
Second.
Yeah, at any point he's going to hit a ball 500 feet. Todd, performance-wise, what's your take on Adidas? Strengths and weaknesses versus Nike versus others you've worn. If you could put it in a nutshell.
One thing I've noticed about wearing my Adidas cleats is that I don't really have to wear them in. I don't really get blisters from them, or I get that kind of wear and phase.
Yeah.
So I can just chuck on a pair of cleats one day, pitching them at night, and it's no worries to me at all.
Yeah.
But a big thing for me with my pitching action, I get really rotational, and sometimes if the cleats traction isn't that good, my foot will slip on the mound. But what I found with Adidas is that my cleats just stick in, and it's just that good foundation for me to push off the mound. And also the durability and the strength in the toe, I haven't had to put a pitching toe on any of my Adidas cleats. Because if there's an iron skin thing that they've developed,
Really?
so it just like hangs in there. I can pitch an entire season for a half season, and there's just like a tiny bit of wear and tear, no cuts or anything. It's pretty amazing, to be honest. Like the 2K Fresh Hiraki cleat, every pitcher needs to get a massive pitching toe whack on those if they want to pitch them.
Yeah.
With Adidas, that hasn't been a problem the last few years.
Yeah, and it
Even though
almost
Zero, which is like the lightest cleat, it's still extremely durable.
that's where I was going to. That's what I was going to ask you, durability, because like I've had the boot. I have the Boost Icon and I have the Afterburner as well. The Afterburner to me is the cleat that I would want to wear. I have questions about how long it would last, but the way you're describing it, that tough skin or that iron skin, maybe it would hold up better than at least the lightness would suggest. You know what I mean? That weight is so it's striking how light the cleat is. So it's almost like, is this thing going to be worth the $90 or $100 you spend on it?
The guy that helps me out at Adidas used to play for the Sydney Blue Sox, and because he played with us, we get to field test all of Adidas's new cleats. So this season we field tested the Boost Icon 3.
Oh, nice.
And they've redone the Boost plate, the socks completely different. So it's going to be good.
They're taking steps forward. You think it's better than the two?
I mean, I didn't get to try them on because I'm a size 12 and the samples they sent were a size 11, but everyone really loved them. And we did get to test out the Boost Icon 2 seasons ago. So
yeah, that's a pretty cool position to be in, to be able to, to be a gearhead and to be able to test products like that. That's really nice.
Exactly. They sent me a big box, 10 pairs of, and I opened it up and I was like, this is unreal. I couldn't wear them, but just seeing all these brand new pairs of cleats was just like, it was like Christmas. Like, even though they were size 11s, I still tried them.
Yeah, me too. I've gotten the wrong size and just worn them.
They were the last package I got from Adidas to use as giveaways. I tried on all of them because they were all like within a size of what I wear, so I tried them all on my wood floor, and they fit great. So good job, Adidas. Thank you.
Nice job, Adidas. Let me think. What else we got? What else, Todd? Do you want to mention anything else that we didn't talk about?
I honestly, I feel like a lot of people sleep on Adidas because of how they used to be. They didn't put too much effort into their baseball cleats, and that's why I gravitate so much towards Nike. So that's why I was skeptical. He's like, hey, man, Adidas are trying new things, try out a pair of cleats. So we gave it a go. And I just want people to know, don't get stuck in that mentality that Adidas was so bad back then that they're no good now. Because, they're doing things that other people aren't doing.
Mm-hmm. See, I was actually the reverse. I was wearing, when I was playing Pro Ball, I was wearing the Excelsiors.
Mm-hmm.
Remember those?
I had those.
Yeah, I had those as well.
When they pretty much first came out, so I used to pitch in those, and I actually loved them.
I did too.
But they were heavy. Like if you weren't a pitcher and you had to get around pretty quick, I feel like you were just overlooking that straight away. And then I moved on to Nike and then New Balance and stuff like that. But I mean, maybe I should give them another look.
Yeah, I think it's a completely different product now. Even from the way they look, they're flashy.
Especially some of the ones you've got, Todd. They're just blinging.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be
gold-plated bottom.
Yeah, dude. They're insane.
Like, you'd think someone wearing the cleats that I wear would be throwing 100 miles an hour. But that's not the case.
Jake and I had this conversation. I said, if you're going to wear... We were talking about Jordan cleats. I was like, if you're going to wear Jordan cleats in a Sunday league, you better hit 350.
Yeah.
And if you don't, take them off.
Yeah.
Take them off and give them to somebody who's hitting 350.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys. I get it. I won't wear Jordan cleats.
So this is an intervention, actually, Jake.
Yeah, this whole call, you slow played me.
Yeah, we did. But, false sense of security.
I ate it right up. I fell into the trap.
Yeah.
Jake, did you have any thoughts, anything for the Australian guys?
Well, I have one. Now that I have everyone here, too, I have one important question that I'll ask you both. It's very important. Are pitchers athletes?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'm not.
You're
Todd, it's guys like you that ruin it. They ruin it for the rest of us.
I'm not. That's the professional athlete.
I almost had to catch a fly ball this year during the season, and I almost had a heart attack.
All right, we're going to have to delete this.
We're standing under the
Edit.
Well, Todd, it's not like you're a left-handed pitcher. I mean, that's a whole different,
Whoa.
situation.
Hey, let's take it down a notch. You were camped under a fly ball, and what happened?
Yeah,
He blacked out. He doesn't know. He's still on the ground.
Yeah. gold cleats in the air. It's crazy.
I was literally standing under it, and I was like, please call me off. And I hear the first baseman charging in. I got it! And I just ran out of the way.
Todd, you'd already run out of the way. Don't lie to us.
I think we did a good job today. Thanks, Todd, for coming on, man. It was great talking with you. Great meeting you.
Yeah, it was good to speak to you as well, mate. And good luck with everything, with spring training. You know, have a great year. The WBC, hopefully that works out for you as well. You deserve it no matter what. So
yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome to have you in from all the way from Sydney. Thanks for coming on, and we'll talk to you again soon.
cheers, mate.
No worries.